Hey guys, I'm Combat Craig, and today's topic is you should keep track of every communication you have with the VA. You should record everything um, that you do with the VA regarding your VA disability claim. Think about it. I use the example of CNP exams. You need to go into your CNP exam um, aware of what you're there for, what's supposed to be going down. Obviously, it's not going to be what you expected, but you should have an idea of what the doctor is supposed to do, what you're supposed to do, and you should be keeping mental notes of the exam so you can create a memorandum for record in case you have an inadequate CNP exam and you need to challenge it. If you decide you did have an inadequate CNP exam, your notes will be the deciding factor. Did you go in for a orthopedic exam and the doctor was doing range of motion measurements without using a goniometer? It's this little protractor tool. So if you're measuring flexion on your knee and, can it move 15 degrees or 30 degrees, and he's just standing back there, eyeballing you from 5 feet away, jotting notes down onto the DBQ on the computer, that is not him measuring you with a goniometer. So you're noting that, and then out of your CNP exam, writing this stuff down. Hey, I went for an orthopedic CNP exam, and the doctor didn't use a goniometer. There might be some other factors that throw you off, but this one would be a glaring one. You could ask the doctor why he's not using one, but regardless, he's a doctor, you're the patient. It's very likely that he's going to take I'm right and I'm a doctor and I've been doing it for 150 years and you're a moron. So it's very possible that he's not going to use it if you suggest it, and it might turn into an adversarial kind of a thing. So keep that in mind. But you need to be able to take notes for your CNP exam. Did the doctor come right out and say something that, made the hair on the back of your neck stand up? You're filing a VA claim for migraine secondary to tinnitus, and the doctor comes right out and he's like, that doesn't exist. This is a bogus claim. You're malingering. You're lying. You're full crap. Something like that. That would be another good thing to write down. If you commit facts to writing to the best of your ability, they will remain factual. If you keep track of all your communication with the VA by taking notes, you'll be recording these notes when they're fresh in your memory, versus trying to remember them, a couple of weeks ago. If you suffer from memory loss, this becomes much more difficult. I have memory loss. I can't even remember what I was doing prior to shooting this video. So keeping a log of sorts whenever you engage with the VA. I mean, this is about keeping track of all communication with the VA. I'm not just talking about CNP exams here. Um, I would go a step farther than this. And everything you discuss with the VA, especially if it relates to a VA disability claim that you already won, so you already have a rating for it, or if you're thinking about filing a VA disability claim, I hope you have your intent to file in, if that's what you're planning on doing, and you're seeking treatment to be used as medical evidence in a future claim, you should be writing this stuff down. At the end of the day, what is written on a medical record is all that matters. If you have a VA doctor that you like because he's slightly better than the rest of them, take notes about what you guys are discussing. We talked about this, this, and this. Then go in and download your Blue Button medical report and see if your notes match up with what you guys actually talked about. You'll be shocked how these conversations go in two different directions. I'm not saying that challenging these on the spot is the right way to go. It's just something for you to be aware of, and it could be the right way to go. Without notes, this is your best account of the facts, Jack, right? Dates, times. This is what we talked about. Looked at my blue button medical report. There's a bunch of stuff in there about birds and the bees. I never mentioned anything about birds and bees. If you have a VA doctor that you don't like, then your notes might help you be reassigned to another doctor. Dates, times, and what was said matters when it comes to medical records. If you're if you're keeping track of this stuff, you can actively correct the record. Um, and if you can't actually correct the record, at a minimum, your complaints will be heard because your complaints will be on record. I suggest writing these things down with dates and times and submitting them on a personal statement. You can call the 800 number to verify that they received your notes. And I would also write that down too. So, wrote notes, this was all wrong. Call the 800 number. Did you receive my notes? Yes. And that's it. You don't need to say any more. Written notes are plenty. You can do this stuff in a spreadsheet if you want to. The reason why written notes are enough is you don't need to make a phone call when you're frustrated and upset to explain things to, you know, a, anybody because they're probably taking notes as well to a degree. They're writing stuff down on a computer, and if you're pissed off and frustrated, you might wander. I know I have a tendency to wander when I'm upset, and none of that stuff is going to be helpful. If I'm just submitting factual information as I know it or understand it, the dates and the times are definitely factual. My account of what was said, and I get that in there as soon as possible. That is as factual as I can make something. If I'm calling the VA and just lighting it up and telling them how bad they've sucked for the last 30 years, that isn't helpful. And this is a term you see lots of times. What you say can and will be used against you. Like, who hasn't heard that phrase, right? Same thing applies. Brief commercial break. If you like this content, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button on this video and throw a comment about what you think about this whole idea of keeping track of your communication with the VA. All of it, not just C&P exams. I mean, everything. Do you do this, and how do you do it? Do you do it by paper or Excel spreadsheet or something? If you need help with your VA claim, you can sign up at combatcraigwins.com. I left a link in the comments below. And then for those of you playing around with my hashtag contest, where I pick a winner from every video to talk about their VA claim, do a one-on-one with Combat Craig. The hashtag is communication. Commercial break over. Let's talk about higher level review. Again, notes are all that's necessary in a higher level review. So if you're appealing a VA rating decision in a higher level review, you're given the option to write down, why you think the VA got it wrong. And then they also give the option of speaking with the decision review officer, and they'll offer you some time slots, 8 to 10, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. I don't have it off the top of my head, but they'll offer you time slots. If you're making a argument in writing, that is more than enough. You say why you think the rating official got it wrong, and you're controlling the narrative. Keep it short and sweet. I mean, if it has to be a little longer, then it has to be a little longer. Less is more. Those words will be used against you as well, just like what you say will be used against you. But you might have to write more stuff. That's fine. But you are controlling the narrative when you're just submitting things in writing. You get to think about everything that you want to write. If you need to, run this by somebody, what you wrote, they could check it. Hey, that's too much. Perfect. Mom likes it. Grammar, all the commas are there and stuff. You don't look like a babbling moron. If you get into a phone call situation, your control over the narrative goes away to a degree. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing in all cases. This is just kind of the way I think about these things. So you might have put down, yeah, give me a call between 8 and 12, and you like forget about it. You're waiting for your higher level review. They're taking a little longer these days, and you're just not prepared. You don't have your notes, or you're in an argument with the wife, or the kids are doing this, or you're dealing with the principal, or whatever. Something's going on at work. You might be asked questions and find yourself smack dab in the middle of a conversation that you're not prepared to have. Keeping it in writing, you control the narrative. You say everything that needs to be said, and that's it. You don't need a phone call because you just said it. I mean, what could you possibly say in addition to stating all the facts that could help you? Nothing. You're opening your mouth, and when you're opening your mouth, you're opening yourself up to contradiction and answering questions you're not prepared to answer, and who knows what direction the conversation can go. Just the facts, Jack, right? Keeping exact dates, times, and your best recollection of an interaction is the best way you can describe the facts as you remember them. Once you get on the phone, you might be upset. You probably will be. You just got your claim denied, right? If you start rambling, uh, you're going to run into problems. You're going to sound like a crazy person that's unreasonable, and you might go from inadequate C&P exam into some weird conversation about politics or whatever. I don't know how much you ramble. I just know how much I ramble. So I know my words are not helpful for me, and short statements are always the best bet in my case. You might be able to articulate yourself, but then there's the other side of that coin. You might be too smart. You might understand this stuff so well that you actually think you're a lawyer. I've talked to people like this that really know their claims inside and out. And when I'm listening to them, when I'm doing these one on one conversations, it's like you're sitting here pointing to medical things and legal things, and you're neither a doctor or a lawyer, and you can't talk about these things because you're not qualified to talk about them. So it goes to the other side too. If you know too much, uh, then you might sound like you're a know-it-all, and then you're quoting VA law and quoting medical evidence, and you have no business doing it because you're not credible because you're a layman veteran.